Last night was a big night for the Bravos. Mike Minor and the bullpen pitched a shutout. El Oso Blanco, Evan Gattis, belted his first career triple. And the line kept moving with 3 runs in the 6th. Replay once again went Atlanta's way as the Braves tied the series at a game apiece. Today, a marquee pitching matchup. Julio Teheran and his minuscule ERA faces Madison Bumgarner, who was outstanding last week in Atlanta. It's 2 of the National League's top teams. The series is on the line today in Frisco as the Braves and Giants meet next. It is a blistering hot day in San Francisco. Temperatures in the 90s. Can you believe it today at AT&T Park? Let's hope the Braves bats are just as hot today. All year long, Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. Atlanta scored 5 last night and shut out the Giants. They'll try to do the same today and win the series outright in our final visit with the San Francisco club this season. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe. Welcome to sunny and hot San Francisco. Fun night last night for the Braves. Great Mike Minor pitching. And oh, by the way, partner, 5-0's not a bad way to swing the bats.
It just gives you a little hint of what could actually happen if this ball club gets on a roll offensively by scoring the 5 runs, doing it without a homer, and getting another great pitching performance.
The runs weren't early, but they were often, and that's something Julio Teheran surely would love to see for the Braves. He's been terrific, but hasn't been particularly well supported.
Just another one of those great pitching matchups today, and Julio Teheran ranks up near the top of the league in several different pitching categories. He's been brilliant. He's given up 7 home runs, including 3 to the Giants when he faced them last and got beat 3-1. But of his 7 homers he's allowed, only 5 of the 7 are solo shots. Great ERA, 3rd best in the majors, not just the National League. 2nd best whip in the major leagues. Great starts, quality starts throughout, and he'll have a tough time and a tough opponent today.
Madison Bumgarner might be state-of-the-art, at least the way he's pitched the last 2 times for the Giants.
Yeah, he got off to a little bit of a slow start, but he, like Vogelsong, he got it turned around, and he's pitched real well lately. His last 3 starts have been outstanding, including the one you're seeing here in Atlanta when he really dazzled the Atlanta Braves, and he's been on a roll against the Braves, too. His last 3 starts, undefeated, only 4 walks and 30 strikeouts in 20 innings. He's a tough competitor, throws hard, he's awful tough on lefties.
And with that left-hander on the mound, a subtle change to the Braves lineup. Tyler Pasternaky will lead off, and Julio Teheran's going to hit ninth. It's a beautiful day for baseball in the city by the bay. And Jerome and the fellows will have news from the studio after this.
picture-perfect day for baseball. Braves and Giants close out this 3-game set by the Bay. 263 consecutive sellouts. Welcome back to AT&T Park. I'm Tom Hart. You know, in baseball, you have series like the Subway Series, the Freeway Series, the I-70 Series. This one, as far as the Braves are concerned, may be known as the Replay Series. Instant replay has had an impact in each and every game thus far, and it started Monday night in a one-run game, a tie game. B.J. Upton thought he had swiped third. He was in there safe. Then they went to the replay, ruled out. Last night, Jason Hayward somehow eluded this tag from Buster Posey in the 6th. That was the key to a big inning for the Braves. And then Atlanta was at it again. This Freddie Freeman fielder's choice was originally ruled a double play. The call went the Braves' way after the video breakdown. We took you behind the scenes today with Horacio Ramirez during Braves Live to show you the process of how it works. And here's the result. It's been fantastic for the Braves. They're perfect this season, 5 for 5 on challenges. Last night after the game, Freddie Gonzalez said the system seems to work.
Today we got 2 runs, you know, with the replay. We got the run there that the umpire had the right play at the home plate, and then, you know, they didn't tag first base, and we got a run there. So it's you know, at the end of the day, the system work is just awkward how you get to that spot.
Well, that spot paid off for the Braves twice last night. Maybe we'll have a few more close calls today. The winner today takes the series as the Braves enjoy a getaway day with perfect weather. After this, it's off to St. Louis. But first, one more. It's the rubber match between the Braves and Giants. We'll take a look at the starting pitchers, the lineup at first pitch. Chip and Joe with a beautiful view from the booth coming up next.
In all of Major League Baseball here at AT&T Park in San Francisco, just beyond the right field fence in McCovey Cove. They're grilling out, and they've got the flotilla out there and ready for action as the Braves try to take 2 out of 3 from San Francisco today. Here's a look at the Toyota starting 9. Tyler Pasternicki is in the leadoff spot with a left-hander on the mound. You see the good work of Justin Upton against Madison Bumgarner, the Giants starter. And Joe, a standard National League lineup. Today, Julio Teheran is pitching and batting 9th.
I think that was kind of led to that because of the change in the lineup without Hayward at the top. With the left-handed pitcher, a good day to get Jason a day off against a very tough lefty. But check this out. Bumgarner's had some trouble at home. You want to find a chink in the armor. An ERA of almost 6 here in this ballpark and a very high batting average against him so far this season. But he is 4-3 with a 2.83 ERA. 24 years old, 6'5", 235 out of North Carolina. His 4 keys to pitching success today. Number one, home sweet home? Well, I don't think so. He hasn't pitched well here. And he has been streaking the Braves. We showed you that in our opening comments. He's won 3 straight against Atlanta and has not given up an earned run to them in the last 15 innings he's faced them.
So he's ready to go. So's Tyler Pasternack, and we are underway.
That's baloney.
Might want to fix the thermometer here.
Yes.
The game time temperature listed at 79.
Not a chance. They don't have one that goes high enough in San Francisco.
That might be right. As Tyler launches one out of play foul, he's quickly behind 0-2. We were talking about this earlier in the series. We can't remember a time coming out here that it's been this hot this time of year.
No, and across the bay over on the east side, it's supposed to be in the hundreds today with no trouble.
So Pasternack, his first leadoff assignment for the Braves. Looks up and away from Bumgarner. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
You've never seen Bumgarner pitch before. His fastball is 89 to 94. 2-seamer, 4-seamer, but it's that low three-quarter delivery that wreaks some havoc with good movement on his pitches.
How about Tyler? A leadoff hit. Fell behind the count 0-2. And singles to left to start the game for the Braves.
Great start. Good start to the day for Tyler in the leadoff spot. His slider is a bit of a sweeper, so Tyler got a good look at that one. Wasn't a good pitch, and he made him pay for it. He's also got a good curveball.
So there goes the no-hitter for Bumgarner, and Justin Upton the batter. We saw his impressive numbers head-to-head. Justin's worn-out left-handed pitching, as has this Braves ball club overall. But that continues in Game 3 of the series. And they call the strike. Justin's 1 for 8 in the series. That hit came in the 7th inning last night. That's a little high for an even count. 9 homers, tied for second in the National League for Justin. 19 RBIs. Early runs so important for both of these clubs, especially the Braves, who are a perfect 14-0 this year when they score the first run in a game.
And the Giants, I think, are 19-4 when they score first. Helps everybody. Helps the offense relax. Helps the pitchers realize they can be a little more aggressive, not afraid of making a mistake.
It sounds so strange to say this time of year, and I'm not trying to diminish the importance of any win, but you thought last night's, for many reasons, was a very big win for this Braves team.
Just because of the way they did it. You know, they had to snap the 4-game losing streak to the Giants, especially knowing you're facing Bumgarner today, and good chance runs are going to be hard to come by.
High fly ball toward right. That's playable for Pence. And Hunter's got it. Justin's out number 1 in the top of the first inning.
There's not much breeze. There's a little bit of breeze blowing out a little bit toward right. But the story here in this ballpark is when it does get hot, the ball jumps, and especially to right field.
It's only 309 feet down the right field line at the foul pole, but you've got the high brick wall to contend with. And then it shoots straight out to 421. That's the biggest part of the yard at right center field. Freddie Freeman pops one out of play for a strike. Freddie's got a couple of hits and 3 RBIs in the series. He's up to 23 runs batted in. He picked up his 14th multi-hit game of the year last night. He scored 2 of the Braves' 5 runs. That ball's well hit to straightaway center. Blanco going back on the warning track. That ball tailed away from him, and he can't catch it. Here comes Pasternak around third. He's going to score, and the Braves take a 1-0 lead on a Freeman rocket to center field.
That was somewhat poorly played by Gregor Blanco. This ball had a charge put in it by Freddie, pitched down that he launched to straightaway center, but Blanco was trying to run and follow the path of the ball at the same time, and as the ball started drifting toward right field, he got a little lost. He didn't even come close to that. There he turns back to look for the baseball, and he had just taken a real bad path. Good base running by Pasternak too. He was already at second, maybe even to the third base side of second when that ball hit the fence.
So the Braves score first on a Freeman double. And here's Evan Gattis. The Braves catcher started last night. And he rips one to center again. Blanco's going to catch that one. There's the second out. Here's Chris Johnson. Chris has done a great job this year against left-handed pitching and is having a fine month of May, hitting .348 this month and .270 overall for the season.
Freeman had 2 RBIs last night. He's already got 1 today. The Braves have the lead, chance to get another one.
And here is your Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard.
And a guy at the plate who's leading the major leagues in hitting against left-handed pitching.
Line down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Freeman will walk home and score the second run. Chris Johnson with a 2-out double. And Atlanta scores 2 here in the first.
We've talked about this before with respect to Chris, but especially from left-handers. Because he likes to inside out the ball, people really try to crowd him and come in. But he's so quick in there. And if he was maybe looking for something middle in, he can turn on anybody, and kept it fair. Another big run.
The Braves, with runners in scoring position and 2 outs this year, have mightily struggled. Not so today. Chris Johnson doubles. And now Julio Teheran has a 2-run lead, and he hasn't thrown a pitch yet. Like it. Here's BJ.
Both of these pitchers today are coming off great starts. Bumgarner's was against the Dodgers. 8 innings. He gave up 1 run, 1 walk, struck out 8. That run came on a homer. Teheran, 8 innings. He gave up 1 hit, and that was a homer for the only run he allowed, and got a no decision when Kimbrel blew the save against the Cubs. So they've both been on their games, and for Atlanta to get 2 early off Bumgarner is a big plus.
Upton fouls one straight back to the screen, and he's behind, a ball and 2 strikes. BJ's 3 for 8 in the series. He's homered. He's got a couple of singles, 2 RBIs.
He's one of the guys that had a big 2-out hit last night to drive in a run.
Last night, though, he and Ed Hickox just didn't seem to agree on the strike zone. BJ, a couple of times we thought had a real argument, as he struck out 3 times as well. But a clean slate today and a 2-2 count. There's a good take. Doman's on deck, but first the 3-2 pitch for B.J. Upton. Strike 3 called, outside corner. Once again, Upton is rung up. And the Braves settle for 2 runs in a very aggressive first inning. 2 runs on 3 hits. Julio Teheran will take the mound for Atlanta as the Braves go for a series win. Offense. Now Julio Teheran goes to work, and he'll take on this San Francisco lineup presented by Bruce Bochy and Toyota. Different look at the top with Gregor Blanco, who always seems to hit the Braves well. Then you got Posey, Sandoval, Morse. Tyler Colvin had a big debut with the Giants. Then the 2 Brandons, Crawford and Hicks, and Madison Bumgarner to face Julio today.
Julio's 23 years old, 6'2", 185. 2-2 on the year, the 3rd best ERA in baseball, 171. You're looking at his career against the Giants, good numbers, and just 1 walk and 18 strikeouts in 20 innings of work against them. His scouting report today, well, the ball will jump today. We've already talked about that. Keep the ball down. And Buster Posey is 6 for 9 against him in his career with 2 homers. So draw a ring around that guy and see if you can do something about it.
Very clever. Nicely done. As Gregor Blanco leads off for the Giants. It's safe to say it's not been a fun start to the 2014 season for Blanco. We saw the defensive issue, but look at those numbers at the plate.
Raised his average 22 points last night with a hit.
Out of play, strike 2.
We were surprised that he came in the game late last night for Angel Pagan, but turns out Pagan's got a knee.
It's been an ongoing thing for Pagan. So Bruce Bochy will rest him today. Day game after night game, and hope for the best for Blanco, who's hit the Braves well in his career. A .342 lifetime average against Atlanta.
And a good bunter, although he's got 2 strikes on him here.
That's up and away, a ball and 2 strikes. Blanco, Pence, and Posey, the first 3 for Teheran in the opening inning. Now 2-2. The Braves signed Gregor Blanco as an undrafted free agent 14 years ago. Doesn't seem possible, does it? And Atlanta traded him to Kansas City for Rick Ankiel and Kyle Farnsworth at the deadline in 2010. The Giants signed him to a minor league contract after the 2011 season. And last year he played great ball for these guys. At .265 for him in 141 games, scored 50 runs, and didn't make an error. upstairs. Don't want to walk him. Full count.
Especially after being ahead 0-2.
And that's what happened. It's bad walk.
Bad walk.
So Hunter Pence will step in.
Teheran's start against the Giants at Turner Field on May 3rd, 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 of them were solo homers. He lost 3-1 and did not walk a batter. Struck out 7. And again, only the second walk he's issued against them in 3 starts, plus 1 inning, plus 1 batter.
Pence with a couple of homers and 10 knocked in. And a very close play at first. Blanco spun his wheels as he tried to get back to the bag and just beat the throw.
Like he did get back. Some question on part of Freddie Freeman, even Andrelton Simmons kind of looking in the dugout, but everybody's stalling, but I don't think there's anything there.
There's a pitch at the knees for a strike. 0-1 to Pence. Pair of doubles last night for Hunter. Pair of strikeouts for Pence last night. And now 0-2. Runner goes, and Pence skies it out of play, foul. The ground ball from Pence would be welcome with an 0-2 pitch. Instead, it's a fly ball and it's crushed. Deep right field. Domet will turn. That ball is gone. Hunter Pence headed to the deepest part of the ballpark, and the Giants have tied the game at 2.
Not just that, he hit it the other way, which I think validates what we were talking about with the ball jumping today. They wanted the ball up, didn't get it up high enough, and this guy can tomahawk anything. He's a wild swinger. It's not the homer, it's the leadoff walk after an 0-2 count that hurts.
A new life for San Francisco and Madison Bumgarner. Here's Buster Posey. I don't know what the number is, but it just seems, Joe, in the first 6-7 weeks of the season that the Braves have been hurt a lot by that call for the higher than high pitch. They've gotten it up, but not high enough.
I'm not sold on it. You know, I think there are pitchers who can do it and know how to do it and throw hard enough to do it and get away with one that may not be high enough.
Now a towering fly to left. Upton in the corner and at the edge of the track. Now a step onto the track is there for the first out. And both Tom Glavine and John Smoltz, when they've joined us in the booth, have talked about
how unnatural that pitch is for the psychology of a pitcher.
You better practice it. You better work on it and see if you can do it, and do it consistently. Put it where you want to put it. I think do it calling for it just for the sake of saying, hey, let's see if he chases one. If you're not working on it, I don't think that's a good idea. And you're right. They've given up some long ones on that pitch because they were mistakes.
Pablo Sandoval is heating up, and that continues with a one-out single to center. A walk and 3 hard hit balls by the Giants in the first against Julio.
First pitch swinging like a changeup, almost like he was sitting on it. Went down and got it.
So a 5-game hit streak for Sandoval as he tries to creep up toward the 200 mark. Morris is well above it with 8 homers and 24 RBIs. He's a cold hitter right now. 2 hits in his last 28 at bats.
I don't know if Evan Gattis will be able to see when Morse is at the plate today, because the sun reflecting off those shoes may blind him.
1 ball, no strikes. Those are some orange shoes. Only one other man besides the members of the Giants could wear shoes like that. That's our pal Craig Sager. And hopefully Craig's doing well in Atlanta. We understand he's back home. And Craig, all your friends are thinking about you here in San Francisco today.
Hope you're doing well.
Two balls and a strike for Morse. Giants have really improved their club offensively from the long ball standpoint. Last year they hit 107 homers all year. That was 14th in the National League. With Pence's 2-run shot in the first, they've hit 47 home runs already. Unexpected production from Brandon Hicks has helped, but Morris has stepped in and has clobbered 8.
Vast improvement for their offense, and they're strangely their pitching's been a little slow to catch up.
Morris had a good cut. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitches piling up for Tehran here in the first inning. He'll make his 19th. Stick for Gattis. Morrison with a swing. Go. He did not. Full count. So with Bruce Bochy, risk sending Sandoval here with Morse in the batter's box.
Well, they've already tied the game up. Might see him do that. Already 20 pitches for Julio.
He's not going. And Morse a foul ball.
Julio is not happy with the baseballs. He got a new baseball from Lance Barrett a minute ago. Never threw a pitch with it. Rolled it out of play. Got another one. He's been doing a lot of rubbing up on the balls. He may feel slick to him.
The 3-2 pitch is taken high to Morse. So 2 walks for Teheran in the opening inning. Sandoval at second. And here's Tyler Colvin. And here's Roger McDowell.
Take a look at that last pitch on our PNC pitching performance tracks. Top of the zone. May have nicked it on the way by. Didn't get the call, and primarily because he's not throwing enough strikes right now to get the benefit of the doubt. He had given up 2 first-inning runs in his first 8 starts coming into play today. And part of this frustration and inner anger, has to do with the fact that he was already given 2 runs to work with.
Now he's got to try to keep the game tied with Tyler Colvin in the batter's box. Boy, did he break in a big way for San Francisco. A homer and a triple for the former Cub in Rocky. And Teheran got ahead of him with a called strike. There's a good hook. Colvin missed it badly. It's 0-2.
Backed up the changeup with another off-speed breaking ball.
At the time of Colvin's call-up, he was hitting .267 with Fresno. That's the Giants' AAA affiliate. But hit nearly .400 against right-handers. That's why he's got the start today. And he's down on 3 pitches. So Roger McDowell's chat paid dividends. That's Teheran's first strikeout of the game. 2 out.
3 straight off-speed pitches. The last 2 were curveballs. Got a big out that he needed.
Here's Crawford. He's hitless in his last 10 at-bats. The Braves have struck him out twice in his 8 at-bats in this series. And if there has been a key for the Giants' offensive surge this year, it's been in this situation. They have been one of the best hitting clubs with 2 outs and men at second or third base in the major leagues. They come in that statistic hitting .266 as a club. Pickoff play and a close play. Everton Simmons always heads up, always willing to take the ball out of the glove, stick it on the back of a defender just in case that foot or hand comes off the bag. And he did it there. But Sandoval was wise to the trick.
You saw the way Julio was able to effectively work Colvin with some off-speed pitches. His changeup is so good to lefties, keeps them off balance, and that's one of the reasons he handles them so well. Left-handers came in hitting only .141 against him. And his 181 overall average is the second best in the National League to Johnny Cueto. But 2 hits here in the first inning and 2 walks. Good pitch.
Now it's 3-0. Let's see if Crawford has the green light. Brandon Hicks waits next.
I guess he does.
If he did, he didn't get what he wanted. And you figure all bets are off now as Julio is ready for his 30th pitch in the opening inning.
Which is not good on a hot day.
No. A 3-1 count. And a little blooper into shallow left. Simmons can't get there. Sandoval around third. He's going to score. A blooper for Crawford puts the Giants in front.
Last night it was the Braves' turn to drop in a few Ric Flairs. Here's one for the Giants today, and it produces a run. Anderson had done a great job of holding Sandoval close at second. We saw the attempted pickoff, but he had too far to go there. He's still bird dogging Sandoval around the bag at second. No way he was going to get to it.
So now you have to contend with Hicks. 7 homers, 15 RBIs. Hicks had a grand total of 3 big league homers in his career before coming to San Francisco. Hitting at the bottom of the order. He's been very, very productive. One ball, 1 strike. Two regular players in the Giants lineup today. Make it 3 with Blanco that are under 10 RBIs. Very balanced offensive attack. I mentioned it last night with Sanchez, Hicks, and Crawford 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's tough for an opposing starting pitcher. There are no weak spots.
I don't know what's going on with Julio. He keeps looking in the Braves dugout. He's wiping a lot of sweat off his arms. He's not getting bite on his slider. That one was overthrown and fortunately stayed high. That was a good one.
And the Braves bullpen is going to begin to work. Alex Wood will be the first man to throw. Plenty of news on Alex Wood today, and we'll get to that shortly.
Yeah, I think this is a good move. It's early, yeah. It's kind of surprising that there's somebody already up, but he's given up 3 and he just doesn't look right.
Very little command.
Very little command. He's thrown every other slider's been okay. Breaking stuff he threw Colvin was good. Tried to elevate that fastball to Pence and he hit it 430 feet. Something's not right.
Payoff pitch with 2 outs. Runners go. And that's off the plate, ball 4. Bases are loaded for San Francisco, and Bumgarner will hit. Wood just got up.
And Bumgarner is no slouch. 5 for 15, a homer. That was a grand slam. He's up there with the bases loaded now. Alex better speed up.
I think Freddie Gonzalez wants to check on the health of Teheran. This will also buy some more time for Alex Wood to loosen up in the bullpen. But you caught it. He's been looking in the dugout for the last 5-6 pitches. Maybe a blister's come up on his pitching hand.
He hasn't moved since Freddie and Jim Lovell came out of the dugout. He has kept that same stance, foot still on the rubber. Almost like, just try to get me out of here.
Bases are loaded for Bumgarner, the 9th man to hit in the first for San Fran. They've taken a 3-2 lead. Line down the left field line and foul. He had that pitch covered.
Like he got something middle of the plate in. Got belt high. Yep.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Just doesn't take major league teams long, though, to figure out and pass along the info. Just watching that if a guy's having trouble with one of his pitches, you just don't swing at the slider. That was a straight change.
The 1-2 pitch.
This sounds kind of weird in the first inning, especially with the pitcher batting, but this is a big out. It might be a huge out in this ball game.
3 walks in the opening inning. 3 runs on 3 hits. And a fastball throws Bumgarner, and Teheran, with a 41 pitch first inning, surrenders the lead to San Francisco.
AT&T Uverse, Delta Airlines, and Ford.
A 37-minute and 17-second first inning. As San Francisco now in front by a run, it's a 3-2 score. Our great camera crew picked up something after the first base on balls issued by Teheran to Gregor Blanco. He kept looking at his right hand.
And it looked like that's what Freddie Freeman and Jim Lovell went out to check to see if maybe he had a blister developing on this hot day.
But whatever they thought, they apparently didn't see, for Teheran stayed in the game, and after the inning ended, he went straight into the dugout and straight down the tunnel toward the visiting team's batting cages. But he's back in the dugout now, and the Braves go back to work in the second with the bottom part of the order up. Domet, Simmons, and Teheran versus Madison Bumgarner, who now has a 1-run lead.
Madison Bumgarner certainly was not sharp in the first inning, and he's fortunate to have the lead.
He allowed 2 runs on 3 Braves hits, including a pair of doubles. Strike for Domet to even the count. A scheduled day off for Jason Hayward today was what Freddie Gonzalez termed the lineup switch in right field for the Braves today. Freddie said that this was mapped out while the Braves were back in Atlanta. So Jason gets 2 days off, with the off day on the schedule in St. Louis tomorrow. That's not to say Jason isn't available today. He is. He may come on defensively late in the ball game if Atlanta leads, or if they need a pinch hit.
That's a pitch for right-handers that Domet just saw that you just can't give up on this guy. It's just a big sweeping slider that you think is way outside, and it turns into a strike. Bumgarner was a first-round pick in 2007.
And a bouncer foul by Domet. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Up and in. That'll get your attention. Full count. Sandoval dives at third, scrambles and fires a beautiful play.
When you look at him playing third base, you don't think he's going to have much range, and you certainly don't think he's going to have quick feet to be able to get up and get rid of a throw like that. But he can really fool you.
So fine play to get the Braves leadoff man in the second. Here's Andrelton Simmons. Andrelton had an RBI hit last night. It's his lone hit in the series. A strike from Bumgarner. Breaking ball skied towards center. Blanco retreats. He's got it. And 2 are out. And now Teheran will hit with the bases empty. No balls and a strike.
Another area that the Giants feel like the area of the ballpark where the ball's carrying better than it used to is out in straightaway center field. Just below the batter's eye, they've opened all that up where there's actually some airflow just over the top of the fence. And under the batter's eye, they've got an organic garden planted out there, and they've got a little more airflow, but it's also causing a bit of a draft that's helping balls carry to straightaway center.
What do you think they're growing back there?
I don't think you want to know.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and downstairs.
But I'm sure there's a lot of okra.
Yes. It's a big favorite here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two and 2. And we'll do it again. While we enjoy the off day in St. Louis tomorrow, the Giants will welcome Miami to town. Marlins are reeling, understandably so. They lost Jose Fernandez, who apparently will have Tommy John surgery. As that pitch missed inside, it's a full count. Surprisingly, the Marlins aren't scoring much away from home.
Yeah, it's like the switch went off, and their morale's really got to be low.
Ground ball towards second. Hicks makes a nice play, and Morse with a stretch at first held the bag, and that will retire the side. Top of the order up for the Giants in the second. Tom Hart will join us too. 3-2 game.
The Braves today released renderings of their new ballpark, which is scheduled to open in 2017. You can see them at braves.com/new ballpark. The pictures are tremendous, and you can see a couple of impressive features of the new ballpark. One of them was surely influenced by John Sherholtz and his time with Kansas City. There'll be a water feature. You see it behind the outfield wall that will sit between the ballpark and a hotel development. Every level of seating will have access to climate control, which includes air conditioning, a larger roof that is 3 times the size of the roof at Turner Field, and many, many others. If you want to get on the waiting list, you can. Season ticket holders will be honored first, and then for a $100 deposit, you can go on the new ballpark priority list. It's a refundable deposit with access to season tickets for the Braves' new ballpark, which opens in 2017. Talked to some Braves executives today. They told me a couple of things that weren't available on that website. Number one, they're interested in putting in some party suites at field level, just like you see here in San Francisco behind the right field wall. And while Turner Field's outfield wall is, geometric in many aspects, the geometry of the outfield wall at the new ballpark will be different. They're going to put in some angles to that outfield wall. There will be no gimmicks in the ballpark, no swimming pool. It will be traditional from that respect, but very modern and clean, and it looks fantastic. Also, guys, who talk about the dimensions, important to remind people this is just an artist's rendering. It's conceptual, but gives you a sense of development, how the ballpark meets with the community around it. And in addition to that, the dimensions are still to be determined, but they will have some unique power alleys.
Great, Tom.
That is great. And it does look beautiful.
But I kind of like the idea of trying to compete with the rest of the folks in the division. I mean, the Marlins have their sculpture thing in left center. We should get the big chicken. put it out there.
I think you need to be quiet. Although I would say that that idea of a party suite just in the TV booth would probably be a welcome thing.
Well, it happens every night anyway, so it might be a little redundant. As Teheran still struggling with his command. He doesn't look right to me. Not suggesting anything is physically wrong with Julio, but his command today has not been good. 44 pitches, 3 walks, 3 hits and 3 runs. And a strike to Blanco.
His demeanor, his presence, just the frustrated look on his face from the time he walked Blanco to start the first inning.
And he walks him again. That is 4 walks for Teheran. You might recall in the first inning, Alex Wood got up and began to throw in the Braves bullpen. There was some big news about Alex today. Alex Wood's going to stay in the bullpen for a while. The Braves flirted briefly with the idea of going with a 6-man rotation. That is something that Freddie Gonzalez really wasn't particularly comfortable with. And because of need in the bullpen, Alex Wood is going to pitch in relief, especially, Joe, in the absence of Jordan Walden, who's so effective against left-handed pitchers, left-handed hitters, I should say, even as a right-handed pitcher. That's one of the factors involved as Blanco is running. The pitch is high. The Gaddis throw to second. It is dropped by Tyler Pastornicki, and it's a stolen base for Blanco.
Had him. Good pitch to throw on. Good throw. Tyler just didn't catch the ball.
And the other factors for Wood in the bullpen, you have the relative inexperience of Ian Thomas and the relative ineffectiveness of Luis Avilan down there. So for now, Wood will pitch in relief. The Braves will go with a standard 5-man rotation. Wood will not start Saturday in St. Louis. That'll be Aaron Harang's turn.
Yeah, I got the impression that even if he started Saturday, it was just kind of a one-time back in the rotation deal. So why yo-yo him from rotation to bullpen to rotation back to bullpen?
2 balls and a strike for Hunter Pence, who hit a long 2-run homer his first time up. This ball's tomahawked to third. Johnson speared that and got his man at first, 1 down. Here's Posey. We were still buzzing about the play at the plate last night. First of all, the great slide by Jason Hayward, who was dead to rights at the plate. But Buster Posey missed the tag. And it's happened before to the Giants catcher. And to a certain degree, Joe, I guess you can understand. A couple of years ago, his season ended and the Giants' fortunes that year ended when he got run over at the plate.
Yeah, pretty much got crushed at the plate. And they told him they don't want him to put himself in harm's way again. Although he was in harm's way there. And maybe because Julio's tired of him taking big cuts and almost hit one out his first time up. That was a little close for comfort.
Let's see how Posey responds. 1 ball, no strikes. Letters even count.
Well, the Giants have pretty much told Posey they don't want him planted in front of the plate to block the plate anymore, to do what he has to do to get outs, even if it costs him a run or 2 here and there. They don't want the risk of losing him to a collision again.
Blanco's going to try to steal third. The Gaddis throws into left field, and he'll come home and score the 4th run of the game. The Braves should have had him at second, didn't, and now that costs him a run here in the 2nd inning. Talk about manufacturing a run. Blanco did just that.
And for a guy who hasn't done anything really to contribute much to their 25-15 record, he has already today in the first 2 innings.
2 walks, 2 steals, 2 runs. For a man hitting 122.
Timed it perfectly when Julio was not changing his looks back at second. Now, it was a poor throw, but should have had him at second.
Another mile-high pop by Posey. Johnson and Simmons near the Giant bullpen, and Anderson can't get there. They got there and couldn't make the play. Wynn played tricks with that.
Yeah, and they're looking right up into the sun. Something tells me when that ball got up high, like up near the roof line, the wind really got a hold of it. That looks like an old Candlestick Park play.
All we need is the fog and the Fiddler Crab mascot.
The wind has picked up considerably compared to the first inning. I say that like that was 6 innings ago.
Well, we had a 37-minute first inning. Teheran threw 41 pitches in that frame. He's up to 15 pitches here in his second, and he has only 1 out. Ball 4 inside. That's 5 walks.
I would guess that's going to get Alex Wood going again, but no sign. He's his velocity's fine. He's been up around 92, 93 with most of his fastballs, but this is not the same guy that we've watched pitch throw quality starts each of his first 8 starts of the year.
That ties Teheran's career high in walks, done last August 24th against the Cardinals in St. Louis. So Wood is up, and so Sandoval. He singled and scored the 3rd Giants run. They lead 4-2. Mile high pop, shallow left. Simmons out, Upton in, and he's there for the 2nd out.
When you have to battle the sun and you've got your shades on and block the sun out and then deal with drifting, a ball that's drifting on you, it's tough.
Here's Morse. He walked his first time up. Strike 1. Launched back toward us, foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
One pitches in the first. Is
yes.
that right?
21 here, now 22, and Morris missed that one. And Gaddis will apply the tag, and that will end the inning. Gregor Blanco walked, stole 2 bases, and came home on a throwing error. Giants 4-2 lead after 2. Top of our 3rd inning, and today only you can get $39 dugout seats. That's right, dugout seats to see the Braves take on the Brewers this coming Monday through Thursday. That's the Braves steal of the week. That's a savings of 32% off the published ticket price. You must buy those tickets tonight. Go to Braves.com/steal to get the best seats at Turner Field for just $39. Still a manageable game. It's a 4-2 Giants lead. Top of the order, Pasternicki will start it off. He led off with a single in the first. And a pop fly foul into the stands. Out of play to the right. 0-1 for Tyler. A little pop past Morse and foul again. 2.
I've seen something today at a baseball game in San Francisco that I've never seen before.
What's that?
Fans fanning themselves.
Swing and a miss. There's a sharp breaking slider from Bumgarner. And that's the second strikeout of the game. Bases empty. Justin Upton's the hitter. And he's our AT&T Uverse trivia subject today. He has scored 400 runs in the last 5 seasons. That's the second most in the National League. Who has scored the most runs over the last 5 years in National League play? So all help is appreciated as Upton digs in, flying out his first time. And strike over the outside corner has Justin shaking his head. That has the Giants fans shaking their heads. Upton fell to the seat of his pants.
Down and in. Lost his balance. Front foot went out from under him. Now Buster Posey wants to try it again.
That one missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Upton had a good cut. Something different about this ballpark, and there are a lot of cool and unique features. They have the most unique backstop in the National League. No supports, no guide wires at all to keep the fans protected. Just a very rigid screen behind home plate. Now shifting and blowing towards left for Upton, as that one bounced up for a full count. The Braves got 2 in the first. The Giants got 3 in their half of the inning, and a run a moment ago in the second. Braves have Upton, Freeman, and Gaddis coming up. Madison Bumgarner working a very deliberate pace for the Giants. And he just lost Upton.
Good at bat.
That's his first walk, and now Freeman can tie the game.
Doesn't walk many. 1 walk in each of his last 2 starts coming in. But at this stage of this part of the batting order, he's asking for some trouble. Braves are happy to take it.
That's low, ball 1. Bumgarner ready for his 50th pitch. And he missed with it. He's looking in. Breaking ball on a 2-0 count. To Hicks at second. Long flip to Crawford, and the throw to first, a double play. The Braves are doubled up in the third and trail 4-2. architectural features here at AT&T Park. A running joke for Giants fans, Joe. You know why that glove has just 3 fingers?
No.
They gave the other one to the Dodgers.
I see.
Little mentoring going on in the Braves dugout, huh?
Yeah, our Home Depot tools in the dugout. Nice counsel there from a veteran pitcher, Urban Santana, having a chat with Julio Teheran, trying to give him some encouragement after giving up 4 runs in the first 2 innings and 5 walks.
It's always fun when we have Tommy and John in the booth talking about the trials and tribulations a starter goes through over the course of a season. As a ground ball by Tyler Colvin will be fielded and thrown to first. Tommy said, and John too, starter's going to have their A+ stuff maybe a third of the time. A third of the time they're going to have nothing and get beat. When you have some good pitches and some not so good pitches are what determines whether a starter has a good year or not. And here Teheran, despite all of his troubles in the first 2 frames, is only down 2 runs.
That's a good point. And that should give him the boost that he needs to at least keep his club in the ball game here over the next 3 to 4 innings, is knowing that he got 2 to work with in the top of the first inning, and he's not down 4-0. He's down 4-2.
So he got the first out. Now he's got to get Crawford, who singled home a run on a blue pit in the Giants' first. That hit snapped a modest 0 for 10 for Brandon Crawford. A chance at second. Tyler's got that. Big hop. Good throw. 2 down. Julio could use an easy inning. 41 pitches in the first inning, 20-something in the second, and a small handful here to start the third now with 2 outs. And here's Hicks.
Julio had established the 2nd best whip in Major League Baseball. On average, less than 1 base runner per inning pitched, either by walk or hit. He had 6 base runners in the first, 2 more in the second.
In the air to center. That'll get down in front of B.J. Upton. So Brandon Hicks got a pitch to hit on a 2-0 count, and he's aboard, and that'll clear the Giants pitcher, Madison Bumgarner. 4 hits now for San Fran. And between innings, before the Giants got ready to start hitting here in this 3rd inning, Bumgarner stopped and chatted for a long time with the home plate umpire. There were a couple of calls he felt he didn't get in the Justin Upton at bat. He had a few words as he stepped into the box here. Strike 1. Maybe his 2 best pitches back-to-back in the ball game.
Good breaking ball.
Slow roller toward third. As Johnson will make the pitcher run to first, and Teheran has an easy bottom of the 3rd inning. Time for the Braves bats to get back to work. They're down 4-2.
Talked about what that meant.
Sometimes he asked me about the situation and main on second and some so hitting, and then what pitch do I throw in that count and this and that. So I'm just trying to help him a little bit.
They hang out both on the field and off the field as well. We saw him going to the Red Cross yesterday. Guys, when Irvin Santana was a rookie with the Anaheim Angels at 22, he had Bartolo Colon, a 32-year-old, who took him under the wing. He said he gives a lot of credit to other veteran pitchers who have helped him out throughout his career. So he is paying that on with Julio Teheran.
It's the way it ought to be throughout baseball, Tom. Good piece, because it is a hand-me-down sport, and guys should take on the responsibility of helping the younger players and help them become better.
Well, a much better third for Julio. He got 3 outs on 10 pitches. That was much needed. And now the Braves get back after Madison Bumgarner. Gaddis fly to center, his lone time up there today. 4-2 Giants. We're through 3 innings of play. A bullet fair, and that almost picked off Ed Hickox too. And Evan Gaddis will make his way to second, and he'll stand up with a leadoff double.
Scorcher. Posey wanted it down, and it wasn't. And as much as we were talking about the quickness of Sandoval at third base, it was the quickness of Ed Hickox to keep from getting hit by that rocket.
Last 3 hits for Gaddis are all extra base hits. A double, a triple, and a homer in reverse order. Now he's in scoring position for Chris Johnson. Did get a chance to talk about it earlier because Gaddis swung early in the count, but his first major league triple, and Freddie Gonzalez was joking about that in the papers today. He said, I've seen home run trots faster than the time it took Evan to get to third base.
Need to try and get him over. Tough pitcher, only down 2. Give Julio a little more confidence too to keep plugging away. Get him over, get him in.
There's a shot in the left field. That's a base hit, and Gaddis will come around and score. Chris Johnson has an extra base hit. A pair of doubles for Chris, and here are the Braves knocking at the door again. It's now a 4-3 game.
Or get him in yourself. And it was similar to the pitch that he turned on in the first inning when he doubled in a run. Target was set up way inside. He got his hands inside of that and ripped another double.
We talk all the time about how the sweet spot for a left-hand hitter is down and in. I don't know many right-hand hitters that are as good at hitting that pitch as Chris Johnson is for the Braves.
And keeping it fair.
So here's B.J. Upton. Same scenario for the Braves center fielder. See if he can advance Johnson to third, or even better, bring him in himself. He argued a called third strike to end the opening inning for Atlanta.
We went back and looked at that, at least on our PNC Performance Tracks pitching graph. It was a strike. And here he is 0-2 again. He just can't afford to give up that outer half. He's got to think about that and then adjust inside if they come in on him. But they've been wearing him out on the outer third.
The last 5 strikeouts for Upton have all been called in this series. And he struck out 6 times overall. Back-to-back doubles for the Braves in the 4th for 3 game now. That one way off the plate.
Yeah, and Buster Posey's no dummy. He's been getting the calls from the umpires on the outside part to BJ. BJ's taking them, so he's just going to keep peppering that spot.
A swing and a miss. Upton can't advance Johnson. One on, one out, and here's Ryan Domit. Tom, you have more on Buster Posey and framing pitches?
Yeah, the Braves hitters I talked to this week think that that's the biggest area where Buster Posey has helped this pitching staff over the years, getting that pitch away called a strike. Now, the pitch effect stats say something different. That Buster Posey is good at framing pitches, but he is one of the best in baseball in his time at getting the pitches inside the strike zone called a strike with more regularity. Very rarely does Buster Posey not get a call on a pitch that's in the zone.
You don't think of it too often that way, Tom. I mean, there are catchers who, by the way they receive a pitch, can lose a strike for a pitch or two by taking the glove out of the zone.
So he rewards his pitcher's hard work with good framework. And that one swept down and across the shoot tops of Ryan Domit, and back-to-back Braves hitters quickly behind 0-2. In the midst of the Braves' real long offensive dry spell, there was an awful lot of anxious at-bats. Which is out of the zone. Here's one of them.
Does turn into North Carolina molasses with people on base, doesn't he? Maybe that's why his numbers with runners in scoring position and 2 out are so good, is that he takes his time and concentrates on each pitch.
He's thrown a lot of them today. That's number 67.
Yeah, he's not himself today either.
No.
The 1-0 or 2-1 game we expected has not materialized because neither guy is on their game.
That's tipped and caught. After back-to-back doubles, it's back-to-back strikeouts for Upton and Domit. Now it's Andrelton Simmons' turn with the pitcher scheduled next.
They're going to pitch to him.
First time. Excuse me, Joe.
Pitch to him or pitch around him. We'll see.
Caught a corner. So did that.
Yeah, there's that pitch. That's his go-to A1 pitch to right-handers. Throw it so far outside that you give up on it, and hoping it catches a corner and you get the call.
Now somebody on the Braves dugout steps is barking at Mr. Barrett. The 0-2 pitch popped up. Morse gives chase over near the stands, and he quickly runs out of room. of things for Simmons to try to cover here with Bumgarner. Slow curve outside, the slider across the shoe tops.
Well, the way Andrelton dives into the plate, that's where they kind of want to come in on him like that. You can see even by taking that pitch, he still falls across the plate. So they show him that pitch away, they work him away, and then they try to get him out coming in to tie him up, hoping he kind of ties himself up.
Now it's an even count. They don't have to pitch to Simmons. The pitcher's next.
No. And that back foot breaking ball has been so effective to the right-handed hitters so far. I'd be surprised if they don't go to it. See where Posey sets up, moving away.
And Andrelton rifles one toward right center. Blanco on the run. Can't get there. They pitch to Simmons, and the Braves shortstop is going to triple with 2 outs, and that ties the game at 4. Thank you very much.
Went to the back door breaking ball, and it wasn't a good one. And it may have even been a ball. That may have been off the plate, but just the exact spot where Andrelton was looking and making sure he didn't give up. What a clutch hit by Andrelton Simmons after the 2 guys in front of him had struck out with a runner at second and nobody out.
That's his 4th triple. And now Teheran could give himself the lead if he could get a hit. 4-4 in the 4th. Now a 2-0 count to the Braves pitcher. Let's check out our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot. Braves are figuring some things out, aren't they?
Yeah, 7 for the last 15 against him.
Simmons with that triple takes over the league lead in that category. One ahead of Echeverria, Billy Hamilton, Yelich, D. Gordon, and Rendon. Bouncing ball to short. Crawford's got it. And he makes the throw to first in time to retire the side. 3 extra base hits for Atlanta in the 4th. A pair of doubles and a game-time triple by Andrelton Simmons. great Willie McCovey. That's why they call it McCovey Cove out and right. 1986 was when he went into the Baseball Hall of Fame. All year long, Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. New life for Julio Teheran. The Braves off the deck have tied this game at 4 apiece. And Braves fans, spend Memorial Day weekend at Turner Field with great matchups against the Rockies and Boston Red Sox. Got to get your tickets early and often for what should be a fun weekend of baseball on Memorial Day. Visit Braves.com/tickets for more information.
Braves got 5 runs last night in the shutout on 9 hits. And they have 4 runs today on 6 hits. So I'd say that's pretty good work all of a sudden without the benefit of a home run. Getting their extra base hits, but cashing in those extra base hits with some clutch hitting, clutch 2-out hitting.
And so, as we say so often, when the Braves offense does some scoring, you need a shutdown inning from Teheran.
Right.
He had a 10-pitch third after throwing 41 pitches in the first and 22 in the second. But it's not just the pitches. They were all high-stress pitches in the first 2 frames. Has yet to solve Gregor Blanco, who's walked twice, stolen 2 bases, and has scored twice.
Well, one of the things a veteran pitcher like Irvin Santana can provide a guy like Julio, and it's not that Julio doesn't know about it or understand it that much. He's probably been there before, but is to, hey, keep plugging. Even on those days when you don't have your best stuff, like you said, Tom Glavine talked about, you've still got to compete.
And wise advice from Santana, because this game is being played almost like an American League game. Your starter's going to stay in. He's going to take a little punishment, but he's going to act as his own middle reliever, in effect. As that one stayed high, it's ball 2 to Blanco. Santana, all those years with the Angels and KC, knows all about pitching in that of the league. Cute foul, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, getting this game tied up against Bumgarner is a huge lift for Julio. I'd like to see him have another 10-pitch inning.
There's an excellent start. Blanco swung late and is struck out.
Good fastball at the knees. Good right by him.
Here's Pence. Pence hit a 2-run homer in the first. He's also rolled out to third, and this one's popped up. Gaddis over near the Giants on deck circle. Wind and sun, and he can't get there.
I don't know if he stepped on one of those weighted bats over there that threw him off, but one of the things he didn't do was try to get over to the railing first and then adjust.
So the at-bat continues for Pence. And deep shorts, cut off by Chris, and the throw to first is a little late. So Pence takes advantage of the missed pop-up in foul ground and has an infield hit.
I got to tell you, I miss watching Hunter Pence play in the National League East. And the reason I say that is because he plays with unbridled passion and enthusiasm. There's no way Chris Johnson had a chance to throw him out because Hunter Pence always runs hard, and he's unorthodox in so many different ways, but he's a joy to watch.
I was thinking the same thing earlier as Posey hits. And rips it front. I don't know if there's a thing that you would teach a young player from a physical standpoint to copy in Hunter Pence. Don't know if he'd teach his swing, his stance, his throwing motion.
No.
But as you said, his heart and his hustle, you bet.
It's all unique to him. And he's a good player. And again, he's fun to watch because he's just different.
He's got a good lead at first. Teheran with a good pitch has Posey behind 0-2. I loved your story about why he wears his pants in such distinctive fashion.
Yeah, for the fans that missed that, he wears the elastic on the bottom of his pants above his knees like a wide receiver in football, because he said he had some scabs on his knees from sliding, and when the elastic was below his knees, it was irritating, those scabs.
He's running, and Posey a little flare to shallow right, and that's going to drop in safely, and the Giants have him at the corners.
That was good work by the Braves middle infielders and better work by Tim Flannery coaching at third. They were going to get a double play at first if Domet catches that pop-up, and Tim Flannery knew there was no chance for Hunter to get back to first because he went in sliding like there was going to be a play. It was Pasternicky that deked him. So then Pence picked up his third base coach, and Flannery's like, come on, keep coming. If they catch it, they're going to get you anyway. See him pick up Flannery there. So they got the extra base also.
So the Giants back in business. Trouble for Teheran in the fourth. First and third. Bullpen busy again. Third time that Alex Wood has gotten up.
Really need a ground ball here. He's not necessarily a ground ball hitter. He likes to swing at the first pitch.
And he did, and hit it the other way for a single. Upton's throw is to third and late. Two more hits for Sandoval today. Pence scores. Giants runners again at first and third. And now Michael Morse. Seesaw game. Giants back in front.
Everything was right except that a hanging breaking ball was hit where they weren't. You could see that Simmons was playing up the middle, tightened up for a double play ball. Otherwise, that was hit right at him.
And that's going to be the end of the line for Julio Teheran. He doesn't want to give up the baseball, but it wasn't Julio's day today in San Francisco.
One each day with their choice of a Works blower sweeper, grass trimmer edger, or aero cart. Just text WORKS to South. That's WORX to 76884. At the end of May, Works will also select a grand prize winner to experience a Labor Day sports weekend for 4 in Atlanta. Remember, message and data rates may apply. The winner will receive approximately 2 text messages in response to their entry, and the winner may be contacted by text message.
It wasn't his day today.
No, I think that's a perfect description. Just wasn't his day, and wasn't his day from the first batter. Gregor Blanco was behind in the count 0-2, and he walked him, which led to a 3-run first.
But still a very manageable game. The Giants lead by 1 as Alex Wood strides in from the bullpen. He's got Morse, then Colvin, and 1 out in the inning. Move of Wood on what seems to be for now a semi-permanent basis could help Atlanta greatly today. He should still be stretched out as a starting pitcher, and he gives the Braves 3 left-handed relief pitchers. Gets ahead of Morse quickly, 0-2.
This is 3rd appearance, 1 inning each against the Cubs on the 9th and 11th. So 2 innings, 3 hits, no runs or walks, 4 strikeouts. And the fact that he has been starting and the fact that he was already up 3 times today shouldn't be a big deal to him.
And Alex was thought to be starting the game Saturday in St. Louis. That's not going to happen. So hopefully he can go long and strong today for Atlanta. The Braves trying to win the series against the Giants. They're down a run. As Morse got one letter high and waved and missed it. That pitch at 91 miles an hour. Good start for Alex. Gets the first batter he faces.
Big out. Big out. Already gave the lead back, but now a legitimate chance to get out of here without another run scoring.
So you go from Julio Teheran, a right-handed pitcher, to Alex Wood while pitching in relief, but a left-handed starting pitcher. See what effect that has on the way Bruce Bochy has his lineup constructed today.
Had some luck on Colvin today with some off-speed pitches. Struck out in the first inning on some maybe 2 or 3 of the best off-speed pitches that Julio threw all day.
Foul at first. No balls, 2 strikes. Did he go around? Yes, he did. How about that for Alex Wood? He comes in and blows away Morse and Tyler Colvin. And that puts out the fire for the Giants in the 4th inning. They take the lead, though, on a Sandoval hit, and we go to the 5th. Innings in San Francisco with Joe Simpson and Tom Hart. Chip Carey with you. Our final visit to AT&T Park in regular season play. And now that little order is restored on the mound, let's see if the Braves bats can get back to work. The top of the order's up. Pasternacky, Upton, and Freddie Freeman versus Madison Bumgarner. It's been a struggle for the Giants lefty as well today. He's thrown a lot of pitches. He's up to 80 now. One ball, two strikes. Joe mentioned at the start of the broadcast that Bumgarner, as good as he is, has not pitched well in his home park. A near 6-point ERA for the Giants lefty. And he's had command issues today. A lot of deep counts. While he's only walked one man, he's given up 6 hits. 5 of them for extra bases by the Braves. And a bouncing ball flagged by Sandoval. Long throw and not in time. Pasternacky with an infield hit. Sandoval, a nearly second spectacular play.
I think this was a similar play to what Chris Johnson's been pulling down the line. Down and in, kept it fair. And I think he gets just about anybody else. But Tyler Pasternacky runs well even after his knee surgery and got down the line in a hurry.
So Tyler in his first start in the leadoff spot is 2 for 3 today. And here's Justin Upton. Upton's flied out and walked. Now the Giants' pen will begin to work. As Bumgarner missed high with ball 1.
Juan Gutierrez.
And while we have a minute, it was great seeing Tim Hudson at the start of this series. Wish him all the best the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, it's amazing that the Braves have only won 1 game against the Giants out of 5 and haven't had to face Tim once.
1-0 pitch is high. I know Tim's thinking about his beautiful daughter Tess. She's not feeling well today, and they're watching the game back in Alabama. So Kim's got the kids. Tess is under the weather, and we hope she's feeling well soon. Ground ball slowly towards short. And the ball dropped. And they're going to call Pasternacky out at second base. A week ago, he'd have been safe. And now Freddie Gonzalez is going to come out and talk about that with Ron Culpa. Did he ever have control of the baseball? Remember the old transfer rules? They've changed, and that's what Freddie's arguing.
Yeah, they're giving the infielders a lot more leeway than they did at the beginning of the year. Looked like he did catch the ball and was bringing the glove to his throwing hand when it came out. But caught. That angle doesn't show you the ball coming out of the glove. The first one we had did. Here you go. I think under the new transfer rule, that's an out. Not the new, but what was the old transfer
Well, what's new
rule?
is old, what's old is new. You know what you meant?
All I know is it wasn't a double play, so that's good.
There you go. And Freeman's up with a chance to put the Braves in front. And that's high and tight. One ball, no strikes.
Let's see what they try here, and what if Freddie looks for something other than the fastball. As much as Bumgarner has struggled today with his own command. Change up.
And he popped him up. Crawford drifts out. Tough play. Wind and sun. And he's got it. 2 out. I compared this park last night, I think, to Wrigley Field. I think it's really apt from a weather standpoint. It really does affect the way the game is played in this park. Get the marine layer, and it's cool. It's hard to hit the ball out of the park at night. Daytime with the wind blowing like this, it's a great hitter's paradise.
Especially now that it's up to 90 degrees.
Oof. Gaddis with a double and a run. Braves got 2 in the first, 2 in the fourth. And Freddie was joking again about the Gaddis triple. He said that Big Papi, David Ortiz, maybe takes a little longer on his home run trot than Gaddis took on his triple. Seen a triple by the Braves today. That was Anderson Simmons. Another here would be welcome. Two balls and a strike. It's funny, Teran had trouble locating his fastball at times today. He's had trouble with that breaking ball.
Yeah, it's been about 50-50. Maybe less than that. He's gotten some swings on the one down and in, and he hits that outside corner just ever so often.
It's now a foul ball by Gaddis. And Justin Upton will run with a full count pitch. Bumgarner has to pitch through the 5th inning to qualify for the win. He leads by a run. He's due up third when the Giants hit. There goes. Swing and a high fly ball belted toward left. Did he keep it fair? He did not.
Not sure, but I think that landed in that second level.
Gaddis just missed. Again, the runner goes, and this time Evans strikes out. Big strikeout for Bumgarner. He protects the lead. Home half of the 5th, 5-4 San Francisco.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by the Georgia Lottery, Toyota, and AT&T.
Well, the last 2 days, the Braves offense hasn't been locked up in San Francisco. 5 runs last night, 4 so far today. And we are doing anything but speeding along. This has been a very deliberately played game. Atlanta down a run, trying to take 2 out of 3. And today only get $39 dugout seats. That's right, dugout seats for $39 when the Braves take on the Brewers this coming Monday through Thursday. That's the Braves steal of the week. You've got to buy the tickets today, so visit Braves.com to get the best seats at Turner Field for just $39.
Braves need Alex Wood to throw up some zeros for as long as he can go.
One ball, one strike. And that's tipped at the plate. Crawford, not your prototypical left-handed hitter against left-handed pitching, is he?
No, and he's worked hard at it. He's actually hitting less against right-handers. He had a rough night last night, but then so did everybody else against Mike Minor.
Mike threw 110 pitches over his 6 2/3 innings. He gave up just 3 hits. At one point, Mike set down 16 consecutive San Francisco hitters. And now Crawford's got a full count. Don't want to give him any more. Line to left by Crawford. He continues his sizzling pace against southpaw pitching. He's got a 2-hit game. And the Giants in business in the 5th.
Well, he let this pitch travel. It's away from him. And he didn't overswing. He's got the barrel out there.
So Brandon Hicks is the hitter. He singled and walked today. He started play as the highest strikeout guy on the Giants roster. Wood would love one here. They'll get a pop-up instead. And Bowman in right is under it and makes the grab. Crawford's going to tag. He's going to try to get to third and will ahead of the throw. So a productive out for Hicks. Crawford 90 feet away. And Bumgarner is going to be called back.
That was good base running on Crawford's part. That's knowing your outfielder. He knows that Domit's not out there very often. Ryan kind of caught that ball flat-footed. Took him a couple of steps to get anything on his throw, and that gave Crawford just the time he needed on a shallow fly to advance.
So Bumgarner is out of the ball game, and Joaquin Arias will pinch hit.
Potential squeeze here.
Strike one, foul.
Arias can handle the bat. Do just about anything you want. Wasn't Madison Bumgarner's day either, but he does have 5 innings in the books and the lead, so he could be the pitcher of record. And he's going to be turning it over to an excellent bullpen.
And a Giants bullpen with a home ERA of 1.01. Gutierrez will be the next San Francisco pitcher. Giants lead by 1. Crawford at second, 1 out. Excuse me, at third, I beg your pardon. That's high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Infield creeps in with 2 strikes. Little pop. Pasternicki drifts back. He makes the play. So Arias pops out. That's the second out, and now Blanco hits.
The knee injury for Angel Pagan is a patellar tendon injury, one that if it goes, he might be out 6 months. So they're very aware of any complaints he has that it's bothering him. They get him out of there and get him some rest. But now, especially with a left-handed pitcher, something that Gregor Blanco sees very rarely, you definitely have to be heads up for a possible bunt, even with 2 out.
So Blanco bats with 2 out. 2 walks and a strikeout. 2 runs, 2 stolen bases. Breaking ball missed badly. 1 ball, no strikes. Base hit the other way by Blanco. It's 6-4. Bruce Bochy seemingly is waving the magic pen in the manager's chair for the Giants. Remember, he used his bomb squad lineup against Clayton Kershaw to beat the Dodgers. Tyler Colvin started game 1, had a huge day. Now Gregor Blanco, who's been mired in an awful slump for San Francisco, has scored twice and has knocked in a run now today.
He got one put on a tee for him. Huge mistake in location.
So the lead back to 2 for San Fran. Hunter Pence up there. He's 2 for 3.
I'm shocked. Pence took a pitch that didn't bounce and didn't go to the backstop.
1-0 count. Now it's even. Runner goes, the throw to second on target, but late. It's another steal for Blanco. He's got 3 steals today. He had 1 all year coming in.
He's making up for a lot of lost time because of the rough start he's had. Without question, his best day of the year.
RBI chance now for Pence with 2 outs, 2 balls and a strike. To center. And Upton plays that on a hop. Blanco around third. He's going to score. Upton misses the cutoff man, and that costs the Braves another base.
There wasn't one. There wasn't a cutoff man. I mean, he pretty much airmailed that throw. It had a big, high, looping arc to it. But it could have been, I guess, that Freddie Freeman just assumed there was not going to be able to play at the plate, so no reason to be a cutoff man. But that throw allowed Pence to get to second base.
So the Giants add to their lead. 2 runs across in the 5th. Back-to-back 2-out hits, one by Blanco, one by Pence, who's knocked in 3 today. And now Buster Posey's the batter. 7-4 now, San Francisco. And that ball's popped up foul towards the upper deck. Strike 1. 7 runs, 10 hits for San Francisco. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Braves. Again to center, but Upton should catch this one, and he does. San Francisco, 2 runs, 3 hits in the home 5th. They extend their lead now, 7-4 your score. Hey, no splashdown hits, but still some big hits today by Chris Johnson. That's our SunTrust shining moment.
Great start to the Braves game today against a tough pitcher, but it didn't last long. 2 doubles in the inning. 3 hits in all, 2 runs across, but the Giants came right back with 3 in the first.
Madison Bumgarner went the minimum to qualify for the win. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. Julio Teheran gave up 4 earned runs among the 5 he allowed over 3 1/3. Changes for San Fran. Joaquin Arias stays in the game to play for third base. He's in the 9 spot in the batting order. And here's Juan Gutierrez.
There are his numbers through 16 outings this year. 92 to 96 on his fastball with a good slider, curve, and an occasional split finger pitch.
Chance for Bruce Bochy to sharpen this man up. Last 5 outings, he's given up 4 earned runs. That covers 6 innings of work. And he missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 3 o'clock San Francisco time. It's 7-4 Giants. Nice catch. Fan brought his glove, made the snag. And now 1-2.
Chris has got his good swing working again. Keeping his hands inside the baseball. He's turned on a couple of balls today from the left-handed pitcher and pulled them down the line. Trying to go inside out on that last pitch from Gutierrez.
And now 2-2. Braves need base runners. A walk would be nice. How close was this one?
PNC pitch tracks a little high. Just didn't come down the way he wanted it to.
In the air toward right, slicing away from Pence near that wall again. And no play for Hunter. Foul again.
Fouling off some 95.
Driven toward Pence in right. He's in a few steps and he'll have no trouble making the play. 1 out. So Johnson's perfect day is over. He's 2 for 3. B.J. Upton hits. Upton has struck out twice in as many trips. Ball 1 strike. Braves were hoping for some help today from the Diamondbacks. They're playing Washington today, and it's not gone well again for Arizona. Inside corner, and that's been the corner of argument for Upton in the series.
don't know. PNC pitch tracks there shows that a little off the plate. BJ's been getting some strikes called on him that weren't in this series. Not all of them, but several.
And they went out there again, but it was off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball outside corner, and the home plate umpires had enough. Was it a strike?
No. He'd had enough. He's fed up.
So Upton's trouble with the strikeout in this series continues. 1, 2, 8 of them in 3 games. Tom?
I talked to BJ today about the strike zone against him. He didn't want to complain, but he's been frustrated by it the entire series. In fact, he mentioned that he was awfully proud of himself to be able to hold it in, but you could kind of see with the stress level that's approaching him and these at-bats that he wasn't going to be long for this game if those calls continued.
Well, if you think back to Game 1 here in San Francisco, his first at-bat he struck out swinging. And it seemed to be a very polite conversation with Ron Culpa, the home plate umpire. He turned around, and what I think he was asking was that a pitch, a strike that I swung at? And I believe the answer was yes. But after that, a homer, a double, and then the called strikeout string began for the Braves center fielder.
6 called thirds.
And I don't blame BJ for questioning several of those called third strikes, but he has questioned an awful lot of called thirds, not only this year, but throughout his Braves career and his big league career.
Well, I don't know that matters, but today in this series matters, and we've shown that at least on 3 occasions, if not 4, he had a right to complain.
So Upton ejected in the 6th. Domit's the hitter. And Ryan's 0 for 2 today.
It's always the same spot. Talked about that at the beginning of the game about how Buster Posey's no dummy. If they're going to keep calling it, we're going to keep going out there.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Braves were in contention for the Lady Bing Trophy this year, as that was the first ejection for anybody among the uniformed staff by the Braves this year. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And a ground ball right side. Morse will take it to the pillow himself, and Gutierrez is out of 6th inning difficulty. 3 up, 3 down. 7-4 San Francisco. come back and take the series from San Francisco.
Yeah, neither one of the starting pitchers had it working today. They both scuffled, but Bumgarner could still get a win out of it. A couple of guys have had good days. Chris Johnson 2 for 3, the couple of doubles, and driven in 2. Hunter Pence with a long 2-run homer in the first inning the other way. 3 for 4 on the day, and he's driven in 3. And don't forget Gregor Blanco in the day he's had for San Francisco in a substitute role too. He's been on base 3 times, stolen 3 bases, and scored 3 times.
And speaking of substitute roles, Jordan Schaefer takes over for B.J. Upton, who was ejected a moment ago. Schaefer will hit 6th, and Juan Gutierrez will continue on for the Giants. He leads off. Gutierrez, Morse, and Tyler Colvin versus Alex Wood. This figures to be Alex's final inning. He's due second in the 7th for the Braves. And a swing and a miss. Gaddis will flip to first in time, and Gutierrez is out number 1. 3 strikeouts for Wood. Here's Morse. Morse 2 hits in his last 30 at bats. He's walked today and struck out swinging twice. Not sure if the 49ers need a tight end or not, but if Michael's not busy in October.
I'm not sure Vernon Davis would be happy about that. But he is just about the right size.
We talked about Morse back in Atlanta. The Giants put together a series of anecdotes about their players that they hand out to the visiting media. The one that just caught my eye and made me giggle was Michael played quarterback in Fort Lauderdale as he launches this one deep into the afternoon to left for a solo homer. That one about a quarter of the way back in the bleachers. A line drive home run for Morse, his 9th.
Snaps of 2 for 30. Like something up, because he seemed to fall back almost like he was laying back on something and swung up at it. Yeah, really laid back on his back leg. Bingo. Strong guy.
48th homer hit by the Giants this year, 1 of 2 today. That one a no-doubter. As Tyler Colvin bats, he's 0 for 3. And a comebacker nearly took Wood with it into center field. But the story on Michael Morse was as a high school football player in Florida, he was the quarterback. His football team wasn't particularly successful. They didn't score a point and didn't get across the 50-yard line offensively until the last game of the year.
That's a long season. Even the cheerleaders quit coming to the game.
Yeah, when you're cheering first downs. Right, it's a long year. Here's Crawford. He's got 2 hits. Long day for the Braves and Giants. San Francisco, though, adding to the frustration. 8 runs on 12 hits. Towering fly to right. That'll chase Doman back a step or 2. He's got it. Strong throw into second, 2 out.
You know, this is just really the second day that I can think of, Chip. There was a start by Harang down in Miami where he gave up those 9 earned runs. But the Braves team ERA is still the best in Major League Baseball. This is one of those rare times where they have 7 hits, 5 for extra base hits. They have 4 runs already in the ballgame, but the starting pitching let them down. And Alex Wood's giving up his first runs out of the bullpen, but it was just a rare flip-flop, really, of what was provided today and it not being enough so far.
And what was so disappointing was after Tehran struggled so mightily early, Braves got him back even at 4-4 in the 4th. But Julio couldn't hold the lead. Atlanta came in with 30 quality starts as a starting pitching staff. That's also best in baseball. Today obviously won't qualify as one of them. No balls, 2 strikes. And off the fist's foul, it's still 0-2. Washington beat Arizona today. That's now final 5-1. Doug Fister against Brandon McCarthy in that game. That snaps Arizona's good play. They have yet to win a home series, Arizona, this year. So keep an eye on Washington, a team that the Braves country loves to see beaten. Won today. At the moment, they're 2 games behind the Braves in the division, as Hicks is down on strikes. Braves forgot how many outs there were. It's been a long day at the ballpark in San Francisco. The Giants add to their lead. It's 8-4. The National League West. They know how important it is to keep the camera guys cool. But you better be careful. That usher might throw her out of the game. Holy smokes, she's just trying to help the guy out.
I'll just squirt her in the glasses.
Time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag SouthFanPhoto. A chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast could be yours. That's brought to you by AT&T.
Well, this guy's having a pretty good start to his season, isn't he? Gene Machi is 5-0 with an 0.49 ERA. Pitched in 2 games in the Dodgers series, an inning and a third total, 2 hits, no runs. 6 feet, 255.
Alex Wood's spot is due second in this inning. He won't hit with the Braves trailing 8-4. Dan Uggla has grabbed the bat. And up and in.
This guy throws a lot of split finger pitches, and he throws hard. His fastball is low to mid 90s, and he can throw his split low to high 80s.
Don't hear of guys throwing the split finger pitch much anymore.
Not when it's just about all they throw. This guy's well over 50% of his pitches are with his split finger.
That's off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Simmons down on strikes. And there's out number 1. And here is Dan Uggla.
I believe it's the first at bat for Dan in this series. He did have a pinch hit against the Cubs the last game of the Cubs series and was hit by a pitch.
Giants play Dan as a dead pull hitter with 1 out. And he jumps on the first pitch and skies it into center. Blanco and Pence. Blanco says he's got it, and he does. 2 out, 7th inning. Top of the order, Pasternaky.
Tough times for Dan Uggla. You know, he hasn't started in about 6 games, 7 games maybe. Wants to play and has not, over the course of the last year plus, demonstrated that he's about to come out of his slump that he's been in. So every day he comes to the park waiting to see if he's going to play, and hasn't lately.
I saw 1 pitch in Frisco today. And swing and a miss by Tyler. And so the man who may get the extended run at second base for a while is the man in the batter's box, Tyler Pasternaky, who has led off today and has a couple of hits, including a run. Oh, 2. That is a fair ball. Posey got it before it backspun foul. Nice play by Buster Posey. And the Giants enter the 7th inning stretch with a big lead at home.
is presented by Georgia Power, The Home Depot, and Zaxby's Indescribably Good.
People shouldn't be forced, Joe, to live in conditions like this, should they?
It's beautiful.
Wow. Had a chance to ride a bike across the Golden Gate Bridge the other day. Boy, it was spectacular. Just gorgeous weather. And we hope for the same over Memorial Day weekend at Turner Field. Join us for the Braves and Rockies, the Braves and Red Sox. Go to Braves.com/tickets and get your tickets. They're going fast. Arias, a short hopper out towards second. Pasternak smothers it and gets his man. One pitch and one out for Luis Avilan, who takes over for Alex Wood on the mound for the Braves.
18th appearance for Luis. Getting that ERA down, whittling it down. After one bad outing this year, early.
They'll try to tame Gregor Blanco. A 3-run, 3-steal day for the Giants center fielder.
Avilan pitched in game 1 of the series, 2/3 of an inning, a hit, zeros across otherwise.
So his good work in a spot start delights the 264th straight sellout in San Francisco. The official paid crowd today, 41,253.
Day game, night game, weekday, weekend, doesn't matter. They just pour in here.
Little dribbler out toward first. Avilan might have broken Blanco's bat. Good pitch, 2 outs. The Marlins are in town next. The Braves head to St. Louis after the game. We open up a series with the Cardinals. Irvin Santana and Shelby Miller tip things off Friday night. Here's Pence. A 3-hit day for Hunter Pence. And 5 for 12 is he in the series. 1. The Angels helped the Braves out today. They beat the Phillies again. 3-0 was the score.
I believe they beat A.J. Burnett.
They got to Cliff Lee yesterday, although Cliff Lee's defense let him down. He gave up 4 runs. All of them were unearned. As the Angels won yesterday as well.
Phillies are 4 games under 500 and in last place.
The Angels now 2 over 500. Trying to keep pace with the streaking Oakland A's, who've won 6 straight games. We will see all the teams in the AL West in interleague play this year. A shot up the middle for Pence. He's got a 4-hit day. Good player, perfect fit in this lineup for San Francisco. He's in the lineup every day. He's played every inning of every game. And a big day today.
Perfect fit and playing for him anyway, a perfect manager who just says, go do your thing.
Here's Buster Posey. He's 1 for 3. And the first pitch swing turns into a fly ball toward right. Domet gallops over, gets there, and that retires the side. We're through 7 in San Francisco.
62 for this series. The unorthodox outfielder is productive. Gives us a chance to revisit this tongue-in-cheek lost scouting report. Thanks to SBNation.com. Grant Brisbee from McCovey Chronicles. Physical description: gangly, runs like a rotary telephone thrown into a running clothes dryer, throws like a man throwing a bookcase uphill, swings a bat like his elbows are stapled to his knees and his underwear is pulled over his head, stares at you when you aren't looking. Strength: he actually does everything quite well. And that sums up Hunter Pence tongue-in-cheek lost scouting report. Just watching him warm up in the outfield.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody throw a baseball like that at this level.
No.
Maybe Little League and, 7-year-olds.
He said he hurt his arm as a kid. And after hurting his arm as a kid, he couldn't throw the baseball conventionally. And he adapted and overcame. And, guys, that's the way he throws. Even when he's playing catch with his kids in the backyard and tries to throw one conventionally, the arm hurts.
And he's got a good arm.
He's anything but a cookie-cutter ball player. He's having a marvelous career. Continuing it here with the Giants. So Gene Machi is after Justin Upton, who, as you see, is hitless today. Machi worked a 1-2-3-7. If this guy ever gets to hit a man on the mound for the Giants, I've got his walk-up music ready.
It would be
Village People, Machi, man.
perfect.
2 balls and a strike. And out of play. And foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I shudder to ask, but why don't pitchers have walkout music? Shouldn't they, when they come in from the bullpen, have, the closers do? But if a hitter gets to have walk-up music every time he comes out.
Giants already talked about going to Los Angeles and how the games last so long because the hitters for the Dodgers won't go to the plate unless their walk-up music's playing. They just stay camped out in the on-deck circle. That according to the San Francisco Giants.
It's all show business, baby.
Waiting for the cue, I guess.
Yeah.
That's getting pretty bad if that's the case for the Dodgers.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Justin Upton. Nobody on or out. And a bouncing ball left side. Arias, a nice scoop. He'll throw on the run and get his man. There's out number 1. This is the kind of game that you do sit back and think, my goodness, what a slowly, deliberately, molasses-like pace of the game. That doesn't mean a game like this can't be enjoyable. But in this 21st century world in which we live in, that is a big problem. I think that baseball has to find a way to either enforce or fix. I say the walk-up music, tongue-in-cheek. Game got along fine without that for 100 years, and I don't want to sound like an old fogue, but out of the box, adjusting the gloves, batting helmet, all that stuff, the tight strike zone, all the stuff the pitchers do, getting ready to throw a next pitch. All the experimentation that baseball has done in adjusting rules, changing rules, replay and such. I would love to see an experiment in a major league game in the spring with a pitch clock, just to see if it's something the modern player could adapt to or the major league player could adapt to, and to see if it would work.
That'd be a good idea. See if they could do it, see if they'd pay attention to it.
2 balls and a strike for the Braves first baseman Freddie Freeman. And that ball is launched down the right field line toward the Braves bullpen. And in foul ground, it's caught by Hicks. Freeman pops out, 2 down.
Hicks was already playing in shallow right field, so he just kind of had to cut across for that. Michael Morse took off running, and he didn't even know which way to run. He was wasn't even the same area code. You see where Hicks is out there at second base, so it was pretty easy for him to move over. Look where Morse is running.
Well, bless his heart, he's only playing his second game at first base as a starter for the Giants today. Here's Gaddis, 2 outs, bases empty. Evans doubled and scored today. Machi got away with one there.
Hey, happy birthday greetings from Bill Acree, the traveling secretary for the Braves, and Chris Van Zant, equipment manager, who's on the trip, to their friend Rooster Curry, who's here at the ballpark today. Happy birthday, Rooster. They wanted to get that out.
To third, Arias gloves, grabs, and makes the long throw to first. And it was perfect. Atlanta's done in the 8th. Giants are up, leading 8-4. Giants have the lead. 4 runs usually enough for Atlanta to pick up a win, but it wasn't the case today. The pitching let them down in Game 3 of the series. We invite you to see the home of the Braves in a whole new way. Take a behind-the-scenes tour of the Braves press box, broadcast booth, clubhouse, and dugout. Tours begin in the Braves Museum and Hall of Fame. For more information, call 404-614-2311. Justin Upton is our AT&T Universe trivia question today. He scored 400 runs in the last 5 years. That's the second highest total in the senior circuit. Who's got the most runs scored?
When in doubt, go to Jimmy Rollins.
I was thinking him too. Matt Holliday was on my list, and Troy Tulowitzki's on my list. I'm going to say Tulowitzki. Andrew McCutcheon is the answer. Adrianza will pinch hit for the Giants as they bat in the home 8th. Machi with a couple of scoreless innings with a strikeout. And David Carpenter will try to hold him down and give the Braves a chance in the ninth.
David's been pitching great baseball. His ERA down to 1.69. He's given up only one hit in his last 4 outings, covering 4 innings. No runs, no walks, and 7 strikeouts. You said, I believe, picked up that save the other night to give Craig a little rest. He said afterward, that was fun. I see how they enjoy that out there. That was fun.
Hopefully have a chance to sit down and talk with David in St. Louis about his remarkable transformation as a professional player. Remember, he was drafted by the Cardinals originally as a catcher. He's got an amazing baseball story as he strikes out Adrianza to start the 8th inning. David Carpenter has pitched with Houston, Toronto, and now the Braves. He's been traded for some good players. Pedro Feliz came over in the big deal with Houston with Jay Happ. Then the Red Sox got him with John Farrell, their manager, for Mike Aviles. And after Boston waived him after the 2012 season, the Braves signed him. All David did was pitch in 56 games last year for the Braves and went 4-1.
He was a great addition to the end of the bullpen as one of the setup guys for Kimbrel.
It's pretty cool when you're traded for a manager.
Yep.
Randy Wynn in recent memory, another player who was traded for Lou Piniella. Went from Seattle to Tampa Bay.
You know, when the Braves got Chris Johnson as a so-called throw-in from Arizona, and you pick up David Carpenter as they did, you'd be hard-pressed to say, okay, well, which one had the most value to Atlanta? Who did the most for the Braves last year as guys who you weren't even thinking about in the offseason? I think Chris would probably get the nod because he was runner-up in the batting race. But David Carpenter was so crucial to the Braves at the back end.
And someday he'll be able to tell his kids, yeah, John Farrell was the throw-in in that.
Well, they needed a manager.
Right. No balls, 2 strikes, and a little low to Michael Morse. Braves scored the first runs of the game. That's usually an automatic victory for Atlanta. It hasn't turned out to be the case. Giants took a 4-2 lead after 2. Braves tied it up 4-4 in the 4th. Giants have scored 4 unanswered runs since. So, barring a big comeback, this will be the first loss of the season for the Braves in which they've scored the game's first run. Swing and a miss by Morse. Carpenter snapped off a nifty breaking ball. And 2 up, 2 down from the hard-throwing Braves right-hander. And Tom has more on the Braves' bullpen velocity.
Yeah, there's a great article today in the Sacramento Bee regarding bullpen velocity and the difference between the Braves and the Giants. The Braves lead all of baseball with their average fastball velocity just a tick under 94 miles an hour. The Giants are 26th in baseball but very effective in their own right. Carpenter's a big reason for that velocity, and if you just check out the closers, Romo versus Kimbrel, that is a great snapshot of how different they are, especially with Romo and his reliance on the slider, which he throws 48% of the time.
Yeah, he's got a specialty pitch that's so good that his 88-mile-an-hour fastball is that much more effective thanks to that big sweeping slider.
And velocity's, I'm sorry, Joe, velocity's one thing. Locating it's another. You've used the Bobby Cox quote a million times. Big league hitters can time a jet. Keep pumping 95-mile-an-hour, 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, they'll eventually get to it.
Especially if you throw it straight and down the middle.
1 ball, 1 strike for Tyler Colvin. And that just missed. It's 2-1. Colvin has a hit in 4 tries. He's struck out twice, grounded out once. Didn't stick. Tough break. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
If you want to look at one area where the Giants, the big difference between these two teams in this 6-game series, 3 in Atlanta, 3 here. Giants have hit 10 home runs. Braves have hit 2. Today they've hit 2 home runs. Pence and Morse count for 3 runs, so it's a 4-run game. You can't hang it all on the 2 homers that were hit today. But over the course of the 6 games, it's been a huge difference and a huge factor, especially at Turner Field.
This is our final look at the Giants. I'm sold. I like their team a lot.
Well, a good sign for Bruce Bochy and their club was the fact that Gregor Blanco appeared to get back on track today. They need him just as some added depth in case Pagan's needs a little more rest. And they'll eventually get Brandon Belt back, so to have all that mixture of players that they can kind of circulate outfield, first base, catching.
In the air to right. That's going to get down and bounce off the scoreboard. Roman played it cleanly, but Colvin stands at second with a double. He's been a nice addition to their club.
He sure has. Called up from Fresno. 2 more hits today. That's 5 for 8 with a double, a triple, and a homer. A little spinner slider that stayed right out over the plate.
And that'll bring up Brandon Crawford. He's got a couple of hits. Every Giant who started today has at least 1 hit. They have 14 as a team. And oh, by the way, have left 10 on base. Eight for San Fran as Crawford digs in. And he unloads on the first pitch, deep to right and gone. Almost on cue, the Giants hit another homer against the Braves.
Fastball, he ambushed the first one. Zaxby's indescribably good play. The 66th splash hit for the Giants in their history at this ballpark. That's 11 homers for them against the Braves, 3 hit by Crawford.
Good player. Crawford has singled, doubled, and homered today. And this is Brandon Hicks. Braves don't want to, but with pitch count climbing for Carpenters, someone might have to begin to loosen up. Looks like Anthony Navarro is headed down there. Pop fly foul, 2 balls and a strike.
It's too bad for David because he struck out the first 2 guys. He's having another outing like he's been having. And then bang, bang.
Back to the screen. And now 2-2.
I really felt like when the Braves were able to battle back and tie the game against Bumgarner in the 4th, that they were going to come back and win this game because he didn't have his good stuff and they had tied the game, but the Giants came right back and as you put it, in that need for a shutdown inning, they didn't get it. The Giants got the lead back and never looked back. They've scored in every inning since except the 7th.
Giants are rolling. They'll go to 26-15. As that just missed inside. Ball 4 for Brandon Hicks. Bears have walked 7 Giants hitters today. 5 by Teheran, 1 by Wood, now 1 by Carpenter. And here's Joaquin Arias. He entered the game in the 5th inning and is 0 for 2. Breaking ball, strike 1. Guess they had bad weather in St. Louis. Cubs and Cardinals rained out today. That's where we head next. A liner is caught by Pasternaky, a sinking drive to end the inning. A double and a homer in the 8th inning. We go to the 9th. Braves need a big rally. It's 10-4. Offensive day, 10 runs on 15 hits. And as we promised you earlier in the game, we have our AT&T fan photo. Tweet your photo to hashtag #SouthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T.
How about that? That's some fans right here at the ballpark.
And after our ball game, we will make our way to St. Louis. An off day tomorrow, and then the Cardinals are on deck. That's presented by Delta, a weekend series starting Friday night at Busch.
They have not been playing good baseball. They did come to Atlanta and take 2 out of 3. 12th in the National League in runs per game. Fewest home runs in the National League. I was looking at the Phillies. Phillies are next to the last in homers, surprisingly, playing in their ballpark. That second game to be announced among their starters, Lyons was scheduled there, but he's been placed on the DL.
Javier Lopez, the latest Giant to work from the hill, 15th game for him. So far, 3 perfect innings by the Giant relief corps today. That is their MO in this park. A very stingy relief corps. 1.01 ERA at AT&T. Johnson, Schaefer, and Domet, the scheduled hitters in the Atlanta ninth. That was around the plate. And it's 2-1.
Giants 4th in the league in defense, doing it with Hicks at second base, filling in for Scudero and doing a great job there. They started the day today with 3 guys hitting below 212, but they're still getting it done thanks to all the long balls.
That sounds like a very familiar offensive game plan. That's exactly what the Braves did last year when they won 96 games and ran away with the East.
But they're playing good defense. They are doing a great job in the bullpen, as you just explained. And they don't even have Matt Cain really on track yet. Braves beat Vogelsong last night, but he had been pitching pretty well. And Madison Bumgarner is going to get a win today, but it's going to be an ugly win, and they get him really cranked up. And he'd had a couple of 3 real good starts back to back prior to today. He's a formidable team.
Yeah, we haven't seen the Rockies, Dodgers, Padres, or Diamondbacks yet. I think we've seen enough of Arizona or of San Francisco. They're going to go to 5-1 against the Braves.
Well, we certainly know who they are.
Yeah.
We know what they are and how they do it. We've seen that.
That's bounced foul out of play by Jordan Schaefer. Remember, Jordan checked into the game after B.J. Upton was thrown out for arguing a called 3rd strike in the 6th. Looks like he had a very strong case. But Upton was the first Brave player or coach to be ejected this season. And Schaefer is down on strikes. 1 away in the Atlanta ninth. And here's Domet. Ryan's 0 for 3. The last Braves hit was a leadoff infield hit by Tyler Pasternicki in the 5th. They've had 3 base runners since the start of the 5th inning. Five of the 7 Braves hits today have gone for extra bases.
But that's part of what that shutdown inning is about. You keep momentum on your side. You feel good about the fact that you just caught up. And then to go back out in the field and give up the lead again, it can demoralize you a little bit. I know it was the middle of the game. There was time to do something about it, but really took the starch out of the offense, it looked like. And not only that, gave the Giants pitchers a little pick-me-up too to get the lead right back for them.
Bouncing ball towards short. There's one. And Hicks with that strong arm at second. A little late on the return throw to try to get Doman at first base. Johnson forced second. Doman at first, 2 out. And the final hope is Simmons.
That would have been a spectacular double play, but not the best of feeds, throwing off his back foot from Crawford. So a long turn for Hicks as a result.
Look at how much he gets on this throw. Basically one-footed.
Yeah, he's a strong guy.
So Andrelton Simmons, the hitter. He's the league leader in triples. And he's going to roll out to Arias, and the Giants beat the Braves in convincing fashion and win the series. 10-4 the final score at AT&T Park. The Braves fall to 22-7.